Hello and welcome to the Adventurers Society Report. I'm Sir Proper. I am the Gentleman Adventurer, Maxer of Minimums, Talking Head, and Profiteer. And this is Cola Queen with me, my co-host,
Woohoo!
Shan, and an illustrious mod of my chat.
Illustrious.
Illustrious, indeed.
Like infamous.
Well, today we're going to talk about a few things. This being our first show, forgive the bumps and bruises. We're going to be talking about AC Rogue today, and we'll start with that. So, Cola, what is
Si,
what is
senor.
what is your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Rogue being announced? Playing as
Well,
a Templar.
today, right, everyone is more interested in Call of Duty multiplayer, but,
Yeah.
I'm all about Assassin's Creed, so we're going to talk about that instead. Um, I think it's quite interesting that, one, they've announced a new game for exclusively for PS3 and Xbox 360. It's not going to be on PS4 and Xbox One,
I
which the
also
other,
find it interesting that it's right at the same time like AC Unity is nipping at its
yeah.
heels. So that's
I'm
another
sure it
interesting note.
was. I think from reading the wiki about it, it's been in the pipeline for a while.
Hmm.
So it was probably always meant to come out on PS3 and Xbox 360, and Unity is now after Black Flag going to take it to the next generation, and this will probably be the last game on these consoles.
Hmm.
I'm just making that assumption, and then after Unity will just always be next gen
Right. Well,
console.
that's
So
I
this
think
is
that's probably a fair assumption because I mean even Destiny, they've talked about releasing multiple games for that, and I really do see that the first generation of Destiny will most likely be on all four consoles, but I think they're going to be progressing forward. I think that's something we're going to see in a lot of established franchises or soon to be established franchises.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're in that limbo period between consoles where the previous generation are still viable,
Right.
and not everyone is invested in the next gen because it's still quite expensive. I mean, I'm not planning to get the next gen console probably for at least 6 months to a year
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because
definitely you're looking at this is the first solid year of the next gen, quote unquote, which is now, I guess, the now gen, right?
yeah,
Like, when does it stop becoming next gen until the next one release? I don't get that, but
yeah,
we're in the first year. I mean, numbers are there, but PS3, Xbox 360, both of those have significantly more units out on out in the home. And
yeah.
so that's a market that you don't really want to ignore at this point.
No, exactly. So rightly, Ubisoft is coming out with another game that can be played on the old gen consoles. Sorry, my cat is trying to involve herself in this conversation. Um, yeah. So I mean that's quite interesting in itself. And I was when I first saw the a couple of days ago when they first started kind of launching everything on social media about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was very excited that it was going to be on 360, which is the console that I currently have, um, and that I wasn't going to be forced to go out and get another console just
Yeah,
yet. So I still have enough games to play on my current
right.
console.
Well,
But
the
getting it,
thing that
sorry,
I'm really kind of curious about it though is playing as the Templar. We've been
yeah,
set to believe that basically the assassins in this are the ones trying to save humanity, promote free will, which we all hold as an inalienable right. We believe that free will is a big thing in our lives, and so now we're given a story from the other side.
yeah,
Like the ones who enforce order and control. It's like I was looking up here, and it doesn't even fit the definition of an anti-hero because anti-hero would be a main character in a dramatic or narrative work who is characterized by a lack of traditional heroic qualities, such as idealism and courage. Well, idealism and courage aren't, you know, lacking at all here, but it's almost like anti-heroic in the sense of promoting concepts that we don't want. Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, if you look at, I mean, obviously, traditionally, the main character, the protagonist of the Assassin's Creed story, is always an assassin.
Right.
Um, and, someone who lives kind of in a gray area between um, morality and the law, but who you can still kind of get behind as a person, even when they have to go and kill people. It's usually what we would consider the antagonist, or the bad guy. And the Templars, of course, are always the bad guy in the story, which allows the assassin to be the hero by trumping the Templar. So to then turn it around and say, well, now you're a Templar and you're still the hero in this story. Um,
But could
it's
we even say that it's being the hero, or is this just
well, I
another
think
narrative
because
for us to
any
participate in?
well, I mean, I guess if you're talking, it depends on how you want to define hero. Hero of your own story.
Right. That's
So,
yeah.
I mean, so it's blurring the lines, I think, by turning it around and making you Templar. They're kind of blurring this line, like there is no real good or evil. There is no black or white. There's all this gray area.
Yeah.
And from what I was reading about the story, um, the main character starts out as an assassin, and then something happens which really alters his worldview and changes his opinion about what the assassins are all about. And
Well,
so he
what it says
decides to go to
here
the other side.
on blog.ub.com, it's basically after a mission for the Assassin Brotherhood goes terribly wrong,
Yeah.
J. Patrick Cormac leaves the order, prompting his former brothers to make an attempt on his life. So, I mean, we do have a betrayal here by the assassins, and whether it's
Yeah.
justified or not, I mean, he does leave the order, and generally, assassins aren't the kind to let people go. But wouldn't he know that? I mean, that brings into kind of questionable ground. What's the implications of him as the protagonist of the story? Because a protagonist, especially by Greek standards, is just the leading actor. So
Yeah.
I think it still fits into that characterization. But he very well betrayed his own brotherhood. I mean, if he left the order, I mean, isn't that a form of betrayal? So who's in the right here anymore? It seems to be kind
Well,
of like a pretty, I don't know, complicated start to a narrative. Not to say that they
mm.
can't do it. I mean, they've pulled off some pretty complicated narratives in the Assassin's Creed stories, but I don't know. This one just seems like, who's on whose side anymore? Or is it just a simple enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Well, I mean, first of all, you talk about, I mean, as a writer, to me, a protagonist isn't just the lead character. The protagonist is the one who drives the story. So, um, so in this, you could say, I think his name is Shay Cormac.
Yeah, Shay
Um,
Shay Patrick Cormac.
yeah. So he drives the story because something happens in this mission, which prompts him to leave the assassins, and then which is something that is not easily done, and then therefore see that as a betrayal and then turn on him because I'm assuming. I mean, of course, we can only make assumptions because we haven't played the game yet.
Right,
But I'm
right.
assuming they'll see it as his betrayal, and so then he's equally betrayed by those who were just moments ago his friends. Um, And
Yeah.
then that, I mean, you can see how psychologically that would then fuel anger, hatred, animosity in the protagonist to then continue to go after the assassins. And in fact, in a weird way, he's got more investment in it because he was one of them, and now he feels betrayed by them.
I'm just torn right here with the ideology.
Mm.
He went from being an assassin, someone that's upholding the free will and free free choice, so to speak, freedom in general. That's what the Assassin's Creed series has always been about. The assassins are promoting freedom, where the Templars perform promoting order and control, and still at the level of corruption and debauchery. But I mean, he knows what the Templars all about, but yet he joins them. That's, I don't know.
But he
Doesn't
might
that kind of,
see the Templars as a means to an end.
well,
I
okay,
mean,
that's
he
a
may
fair point.
not, yeah, he may not, we don't know, he may not turn around and just embrace their ideology. He may see them as, well, in order to get
Yeah,
back at the assassins or
enemy
get
of my
rid of the
enemy is my friend.
assassins,
Yeah,
yeah, I need to join the only people who could essentially pose any threat to the
yeah.
assassins. Which then makes for excellent narrative. I mean, you have everything you need right there.
Yeah, and
You
well, I
know.
mean, how he, I mean, you have the options for how he deals with the Templars and how they behave, how he is going up against, his own former comrades. I mean, there's a lot of things to explore there.
Yeah.
Now,
And I imagine also becoming a Templar, having once been assassin, will not make him easily liked amongst the Templars.
yeah,
So he truly is a character outside.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, a character set apart.
yeah, I mean, everyone else has a gang, has a family, and he's just like, he is essentially the true rogue, which is, I guess,
Yeah,
why they decided to call it that because
right, right.
he is a rogue in every sense of the word.
Now, now, my question for you, Cole, is there any odd bits that you have come across in your meanderings across the internet
Yeah,
this
nice
week so
segue.
far?
I don't know. It's necessarily odd, but I thought it was really cool, and I mentioned this to you the other day. Um, Something was posted on Gizmodo, which is Google lets you watch live data from NASA's long last satellite.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that one. Yeah.
yeah, so there's a satellite called the ISEE 3, which was launched in the late 70s, and it sent data home for about 20 years. Um, and I guess they lost track of it or they forgot they had it out there. I don't know. But
Well, we
it's,
lost a satellite. It's a daisy.
but now they're calling it recently discovered abandoned satellite is still transmitting.
Maybe they
And
didn't see it had any value anymore and just stopped, you know,
yeah, I don't know.
controlling it or something. I mean,
Somebody was like, "What's this blinking light on this console?" Like, oh, that's our satellite.
this button do.
Um, yeah. So apparently Google started a project, uh, and it's been crowdsourced. So I'm
Mm.
just trying to like read through the
Well,
highlights.
yeah, there's all those groups about hacking this. Like, there's Hack New York,
Yeah.
and in fact, I saw something the other day from a Hack New York project where it's called Fish Plays Pokemon. Now, I know
Oh yeah, I saw that.
now I know I'm a brand new streamer, and that
Yeah.
I'm still working up. I have a pretty fair audience at this point, and I'm liking the international flavor of most of my audience. But this fish is being monitored by a camera, and mapped over the camera feed is essentially button zones. And every time the fish swims through these button zones, it puts the input on, into the game. and it's being fed into a game of Pokemon. I think it's Red or Blue, one of those. But so they have this fish playing Pokemon, and granted, apparently it's been going for a while, but my highest concurrent viewer count was 1,000, and I was playing a popular game. This fish has 11,000 concurrent viewers, and like
Yeah.
apparently they haven't the fish hasn't got even past Route 1 yet.
Oh my god.
I, I just
That's
I just
crazy.
I'm just baffled by it, to be honest. Fish plays Pokemon. So that
Yeah.
that was that was my little
Meanwhile, the fish is thinking, "What are these things in my way, and how
well,
do I
no,
get
it
to
doesn't
them?"
even it doesn't see that. It's just swimming around. It's an overlay camera thing where
Oh, it's an
basically as
overlay. All right.
yeah, so basically as this fish just swims through the zones of the camera feed, it registers as a button press.
Nice.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I have to give him
That
props
fish
because
don't know he's famous.
right, I know. It's oh man, and the chat was a zoo. I mean,
Oh, I'm
uh,
sure it was. I'm sure it was full of trolls. Just trolls. Tastic.
oh, one of my Twitch audience, Bladesy, said, "Remember the main villain in AC3? He was not said to be an assassin, but he had the training and the blade, so it could be a cross reference to that character." That's Bladesy899 from my Twitch audience. That's a very valid point. I hadn't even thought about that because I hadn't even got all the way through AC3. Gasp! My PS3 is in disrepair. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, actually, the apparently the story of Rogue takes place before AC3. Um,
before.
yeah, and actually, the main character is an ancestor of the
Hmm.
character in AC3.
Well, that kind of sets up, yeah. So, but like
Yeah.
like you said, I think that could be a very valid cross reference.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, world events. So basically, everything's going wrong. We have the FBI investigating Ferguson police shooting of a teen, looting, vandalism after vigil for Missouri men killed by cop. That's fantastic. Let's see. Hey, Hillary Clinton criticizes Obama foreign policy. The minorities are at each other's throat. Let's see. Australia boy displays severed head in Syria. Wow, that's awkward. Oof.
Russia to join international relief effort as Ukraine presses fight. Hmm.
Kurdish forces retake two towns from ISIS in northern Iraq. So yeah, a lot of people, not a lot of happy news. I'm sure there's happy news, and I'm gonna find some at some point, but we're not gonna worry about it today. Okay, so we've kind of talked about AC Rogue. We've talked about the implications of a protagonist. So virtual reality. Virtual
Them
reality is kind of
segues.
I know, right? Virtual reality. Is it real life? Double rainbow, what does it mean? So yeah, Charlie bit me, but moving right along.
Oh.
So right.
I was like, "Who's Charlie?" And then I was, "Oh, that kid."
Charlie bit me.
Yeah.
Okay, so virtual reality though. This is kind of an interesting thing. We have a couple of animes out there. Sword Art Online has just started its second season. It's all about full dive virtual reality, which I assume most video gamers are waiting for to get into the game, literally. But so we have two kind of peripherals out there right now trying to make some waves in the idea of presence and virtual reality.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you had previously heard before I brought up this topic before when we were kind of discussing the start of our podcast, but have you had a chance to take a look at any of the stuff on either the Oculus Rift or Project Morpheus?
Yeah. In fact, I read a really interesting article which not only talked about those, but some of the other things that are going on in that world. Um, but I mean, having just looking at that, I mean, okay, I'm gonna show my age. I mean, VR headsets are not new. Neither are
Well,
VR.
depends on what you mean by VR headsets. Because originally it was more like VR headgear, and it weighed like 10 to 15 pounds.
I don't know. They're still pretty damn big looking. I mean,
Well,
this is my
the
thing. Like,
Project Morpheus one is designed to be much lighter. In fact, I think I have the specs here.
how
Okay,
much
it's only
does it
got the.
weigh?
I'm not seeing the weight of it. I know it's much lighter because it's meant to actually sit on your head. It doesn't have to be like strapped in.
I mean, I guess as long as it's not heavier than a bike helmet. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know specifically the Project Morpheus is a lighter unit. They've done a lot of work, material science and such to keep
Yeah.
it lighter. And I know it's also designed to allow for high end headsets. That's part of why it's designed the way it is so that headsets can still go over it. But I
Yeah.
mean, the Oculus Rift, I mean, that was man. So it started out as a Kickstarter,
Yeah.
and it was like it blew up on Kickstarter. Now it was bought by Facebook.
Yeah. Oh. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know like whew, I don't know that concerns me, at least as far as the Oculus is concerned. I mean, you can go to the webpage oculusvr.com, and they're already on DevKit 2, which means they are still making progress. But I'm just kind of like, what was the point of Facebook buying it up? Like, what are they trying to do with it?
I don't know. I
I
mean, could
don't.
you imagine walking around with a headset and it was just like tuned into Facebook?
That'd be
I
so
think I would
awkward.
I would gouge my own eyes out, seriously, because
Because it would
Facebook.
be constantly be, hold on, but first let me take a selfie. That's all
Of
I'm
just my
seeing.
eyes.
Right, right.
And then the please give me 1,000 million likes
Yeah.
because I have cancer or my kid is cute or whatever the
See the
reason
world through
is.
my
Or
eyes. You know they're gonna get like some kind of video recording device. If Facebook has anything to do with it, look at a video recording device facing forward so that you see the world through my eyes.
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
all the pictures of people's food. That's all you're
Oh
gonna
God.
see
Oh
on here.
God.
It'll be like you're right there in the restaurant with them.
Right. And smell-o-vision. Don't forget. That's Facebook's next move. Smell-o-vision.
Yeah,
Awkward.
yeah,
But I'm actually, to be honest, I'm a little bit more. I know. Yes, I've been with PlayStation a long time. It's not that I've never bought an Xbox console. I've never, it's not that I've never. I bought an original Xbox. I never got around to purchasing an Xbox 360 because they never got down to a price point that I wanted to pay for, and well, poor
mm,
college student and all that. And I already bought my PS3 and stuff. And in fact, when my PS3 broke, I actually just stuck with my PC, my gaming PC for a while, rather than worrying about any consoles. So, but now that Destiny is coming out, and I was like, oh, I gotta play Destiny. So I bought my PS4, and then seeing this Morpheus Project Morpheus as they call it. I don't know. It seems I don't know. I'm excited for it as far as the not only the innovation that it potentially brings, but what's the implication for the future? How much further is Sony looking getting into the innovation of VR?
yeah.
And when
Well,
are
they're
they going to start
obviously.
scanning our brains? Just saying.
Well, and I mean, it's not that I don't find the concept of like playing VR games or being able to do other things with virtual reality. And it's not that I can't see, amazing possibilities for people with disabilities or medicine, etc. Um, but I just also, I don't know, like sometimes I wonder, like, how far removed from reality do we want to become?
That's that's a fair statement to make, and definitely an interesting question, especially when, and I'm gonna go ahead and link this to you. I should have totally thought to remember it, but there's really cool guys. They started out as Rocket Jump, and they were doing videos on YouTube, and then it moved to Node Gaming on YouTube, and they started doing LAN parties all the time. And so this Oculus VR thing came out, and they were all excited about it, except they they weren't keen on the idea that it wasn't a virtual reality input. You had still had a controller in your hand or a keyboard, and so they're working on this product called Control VR. And to say that the Kickstarter for Oculus VR blew up, the Control VR also as equally has blown up. And it's an interesting utility that they're trying to basically integrate virtual reality control mechanisms, you know, to kind of further push that presence thing. So I don't know, yeah, I know that NASA's got money into um, NASA is interested in Project Morpheus for doing like basically seeing, space through virtual reality. And I know some other
Yeah,
partners are interested as far as, like going, to places that you can't go. And one of the other things they've talked about
yeah,
is, exploring the world through virtual reality. But you're totally right when you bring up that statement. How far removed are we really wanting to get?
yeah,
Now, as a gamer, and the fact that they've shown in recent studies that most gamers have addictive personalities, and one of the things is
yeah.
social
Think.
social isolation. I don't know. Maybe all the gamers do just want to check the f out of reality.
Well, I mean, I've been playing games a long time, and I love them because they take you out of your reality and put you
That's true.
in. They put you in a story, or they're just fun and they waste time, and you get addicted to time management or having a high score or completing all the things. Um, and sorry, I just started to think about all the games I've ever
You're
played.
like, wow, I've played a lot of games. No, I've been gaming for 25 years myself. A little over 25 years. I started on the Atari 2600, so I almost literally grew up with a controller in my hand. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And as a writer, I also, I love genre fiction, fantasy,
yeah.
science fiction, which again is taking you out of your reality and putting you in a different one, and losing yourself in character. I mean, I love films, I love TV shows, and those are all things that take you out of reality. And I sort of feel like sometimes, I spend a lot of time not in reality or trying to escape it or to mask it or something. Um, and then, I mean, the idea of VR, like we're saying, like I can totally see why it'd be awesome for science and medicine and education, and all these other applications. But I do worry about where it's going to take people in the gaming world. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
Blazy. Playing a VR simulator in VR. Blazy.
There you go. There you go,
That's
Blazy. I
Inception.
think
That's
he
VR
found it.
Inception right there. VR
Yep.
Inception. There's actually a movie actually about that. It's called Existence. It's a terrible movie, but basically the idea is virtual reality that's indistinguishable from your reality, and then the question is how can you tell when you're out?
Yeah.
And so like they're constantly all the systems that they engage with through the movie as they're in different levels of reality or whatever. They're engaging with different systems, but you never know which is top tier reality, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty terrible movie, but it did explore that idea.
Yeah, I think I've actually seen that film. It is pretty bad. But the
Yeah, I know.
concept is a good one. And like
Yeah,
Inception, you know, I mean,
yeah.
Inception did blow my mind the first time I saw it because,
Oh, I like Inception. That's a great movie. Plus that soundtrack. Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Because it is, it's just like, it kind of, you know, it mind fucks you. You know, you
Yeah,
get to
pretty
the end
much.
and you're like, he's not going to wake up in reality. And you're like, but he's not.
Yeah, I know. Hey, the ending. I firmly believe that he's back in reality because despite what people say, there was a wobble. There was a wobble at the end. Maybe they didn't cue it a frame soon enough, but there was a wobble.
See,
And
I actually think that that is, it's like a wink to the audience that says it wobbled, so he thinks that he's in reality, but the fact that his kids are still like 5 years old tells you that he's not.
but see, the thing is he wasn't gone from his kids that long. So as far as we know, he wasn't like gone terribly long. I don't know. That's a topic for debate. My vote is he's out. So you can vote however the hell you want.
You agree to disagree.
We'll agree to disagree. So, at the end of the day, uh, so I have no idea what I'm going to be streaming for the next week. I have no idea. Destiny is not out yet, so not Destiny. Um.
Well, you can always play through The Last of Us a few more times.
Oh, jeez, I've already done it like 5 times. I mean, it's a
Like
fantastic
what?
game, and it's not the playthroughs that I'm tired of. It's just like, how can anybody else want to continue watching me play this game?
Oh wait, Lady's trying to end the controversy.
If you watch and he's wearing his ring, then no. But if he's not, then he's awake. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'd never
Plot
thought of that.
twist. I didn't
Plot
think of
twist.
that either. Alright, we'll have to
As
explore that in
yeah.
another episode.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie all again. Thanks, Bladesy.
Yeah, thanks, Bladesy. All your fault. I've already
Ah.
seen that film like 3 times.
So
Right, so what are you streaming? We don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you have a ton
You
of
need
games.
to have more stuff though that I can listen to that has like story and stuff because
Well, I could play.
I'm listening.
I could do a playthrough of
Because all I
Bastion.
heard today, like all day, was just like, "Rawr, gat, gat,
Yeah,
gat,
I know. How
rawr."
to survive is pretty brutal.
It was the same thing when you were playing Warhammer. It was
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's like, rawr,
War drums, killings, murders. Dude, Warhammer though is a seriously underrated game. It is a fantastic game though. Um, let's see.
what other games you got that have story?
Well, I was thinking about that. No way I'm playing Just Cause 2. I'm pretty sure everyone would shoot me. That game's it's fun, but it's terrible. Like uh, Portal 2 isn't very. Um, I don't know. I'll probably play Deus Ex. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Yeah. I mean, I've never played any Deus Ex, so I'm happy for you to do that.
Yeah.
Cola approved.
Battle Block Theater for Cola. Uh,
What is Battle Block Theater?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. I'm,
Oh,
I don't know all games, every games.
no, me either.
Uh, oh, you know what? I could go ahead and get The Witcher downloaded. I could start with I could see if
Oh,
I
the
could.
first one.
Yeah, first one. Do the first and the second one.
Oh, cool. I started the second one, but I've never actually played it through. I don't have the first one.
I always got lost in like the first 10 seconds of The Witcher, so maybe I'll give it an honest go. Try and figure out what the hell I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
that'd
do.
be kind of cool. I'd love to. I'll listen to that live.
Listen to that. So yeah, okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and work on getting through The Witcher. That is my goal.
Awesome. Woohoo!
Um. So the question is,
What am I doing? Yes.
no.
Well, now that you asked,
Okay.
I'm just
So
playing.
my question for you, as we finish the show.
Yes, sir.
So if we had full dive VR, in other words, full immersion, would you say that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Wait, if we had what? Say it again.
Full dive VR.
Full dive VR. You
In other
mean?
words, full presence immersions. You could touch things, taste things, see things, all that, smell things.
Yeah, I'd be into it. It's not that I wouldn't be into it. And I'm sure, even all of the naysayers, the minute they put that thing on and experience it, will be into it. Um,
So your vote is it's a good thing.
yeah, I mean, look, you can't stop technology. You cannot stop progress. You cannot stop the future. So I think it's more important that instead of trying to stop things, you embrace them, but then think about the implications along the way
Yeah.
and try to prevent or look for, the potential negatives that are going to come from it. Which I think has always been the problem with technology in general, is that people just kind of steamroll ahead and don't really consider what all the possible outcomes might be.
But I mean, at the end of the day, can you even say, even attempting to be aware of those, can you really identify those before they're already a problem?
Probably not.
Uh,
Uh,
well, I
yeah, I
too,
don't
I'm
know.
on the bandwagon where I would say it would be a good thing.
Yeah,
I'm definitely in the
not
camp
again,
that
definitely not against it.
because I think that there is a potential for social isolation, but especially if we were pushing for like the interconnectivity that we already look for in multiplayer and stuff like that, that there is that potential for just changing the whole system to where we have more and varied interaction with other people.
Yeah. No,
That's
and I agree that there's always going to be amazing things that you can't even dream are possible.
yeah.
They're going to come from things like this. So I'm definitely not against it. I'm definitely
All
for
right.
it.
Well, Kola, I look forward to our next podcast, which
Woohoo!
are we going to do it? Are we doing it Wednesday or Thursday?
I would do it Thursday.
Okay. So
It's
Thursday,
just like, meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
exactly. Thursday will be our next podcast, and until then, this is the Adventurers Society report with Sir Proper and Cola Queen.
That's me.